I love a good hot take video. I think that's.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun.
I also think that's going to be one of like our most viewed videos. It's just like stupid shit like hot takes. People love stupid shit.
What?
You need to focus on the editing.
What do you mean?
Do
you not like the edits?
No, I didn't say that.
Sounds like that's what you're
No,
saying.
that's not what I'm saying.
What are you saying?
What I'm saying is somebody posted commented that our podcast is the worst podcast
Did you see that?
ever
I
made.
didn't see that.
That was crazy.
So-
I need to go look at that. Make sure
We should do a
that-
video of just us reacting to that one
Yeah.
comment and just
No,
shit
no,
talking
we
that
should.
guy super hard for like 45 seconds.
Yeah, we should, honestly.
No.
No, we should.
I don't
No,
agree
we
with
should.
that. You ignore the haters. Probably, he wasn't questioning the content. He was questioning that we're just sitting in here in like a closet and like a.
Why you gotta say something like that? They don't know we're in a closet.
We're not in a closet.
Okay, buy me an Eagles flag. And
That's
I'll
what
put
I'm
it
saying.
up
Yeah,
right
we could
there.
do something like that.
Yeah, we do
Yeah.
something.
Roll that out.
We would need a better camera too, because you wouldn't know what it says. Yeah.
That's
what
enough,
the
yeah.
thing is. Don't point at me.
This is your camera. It
Don't point at
sucks.
me. It's for myself, not for us.
He said, "This is your camera. It sucks."
You.
Like, so this is gonna have to be a corroboration.
Corroboration.
Yeah.
You heard him. He didn't
Is that
stutter.
a word?
Did he stutter?
He definitely did not stutter when he said corroboration. He said, "You can hit me."
You're gonna feel it,
You
Cooley.
gonna feel it,
You
Cooley.
gonna feel
You
it,
gonna feel
Cooley. This is unreal. It's a terrifying thing to say to somebody. Oh.
Dude,
Whoa.
props to Cooley though. He just walked away. It's
Yes.
like-
Yeah, I'm coming. You better tell him to get it down, Cooley.
Get me all you want.
Yeah, but you gonna feel it, Cooley. I'm telling you, you gonna feel it. No! No!
Absolutely.
Then what are we doing here?
Let's get this on the road then, man. I've got some hot takes ready to roll.
Some stuff to roll. We got film to crunch.
We should crunch film though, for real though.
No.
Or are we?
We already got this.
Definitely doing?
We already.
I got my
this.
hot takes written down. I'm ready
We
to
already
talk
got the
about
hot
it, man.
takes.
I'm pumped
We're
for my
ready.
hot takes.
We just need the fucking dude to say, "You were good."
This is.
That's all I've been waiting for, like the last 10 minutes. I'm
It's
dying
not
over
easy
here.
to say because
We're
nobody else can say
We're
it.
falling off. We're falling off.
You guys ready?
I agree with the
We're
guy.
ready, brother.
I agree with Dash Dash. I stand with Dash Dash.
What is that? What is
That's the
that?
guy who said he has the worst podcast. That's his username.
Okay. This is your forecast.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Also
we
known as
are.
the worst podcast ever made.
Hey, that's all right. We're working on it.
Thank you.
Just trying to get better every day. You know, we're out here grinding.
Appreciate the love.
Still probably better than your forecast, whoever's.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
for
We got our
sure.
own forecast, man. We're feeling a little hot over here.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate the comment either way. I think.
Heck yeah, man.
Dude,
Thanks
we
for
got
tuning
haters
in.
now. We got like if you don't have haters, you had make it.
That is true.
We've officially made it, as in somebody's watched our video.
Yeah, we
they
did
didn't like
it.
it.
We have an algorithm. Like, let's go.
Yeah, we hit somebody's screen. That's good.
Let's start with the news though.
Yeah, man.
Sure.
Well, we're at that time of year where there's not a whole lot of news. I have a few fake news things we can talk about, but one real news alert. Trevor Lawrence, 5 years, $275 million, $200 million guaranteed. That's $55 million per season for Trevor Lawrence.
Mhm.
Do you happen to know where that ranks him as far as all the other QBs?
I'm pretty sure that's third highest paid in the league for average salary.
Mm.
Yeah,
That's
it's
a
up
lot.
there. That's a whole
They
lot of
believe
money.
in him.
But I mean, that's just the nature of the quarterback
They
contracts. I
believe
mean,
in
we're
him
about to
more than you
see.
do.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, Dak and Tua are probably the guys up next, and I'm
Yes.
really interested to see what they do. I mean,
Yes.
they're going to want more than
Eagles
that,
fans
right? They're going to want more than $55 million.
NFC East fans are just like, yes, the Cowboys keep screwing up.
Yep. But after that, we got you got something to say about
no,
Tua?
I was gonna.
All right. We got Sam Darnold is the official QB1 going into camp right now in Minnesota.
Oh, let's go.
He's taking the reps. What do you guys have to say about that? You think that's going to stick for a little while or no?
Oh, I doubt it.
Yeah,
I doubt it.
I think they have an
think
early
it'll stick
bye.
for a little bit, and then preseason he's going to
Yeah.
take the back.
That's been all the rumors I've seen is they have the week 5 bye week so they could play Darnold for 4 weeks or so just to make McCarthy feel real comfortable and
Oh,
they get
okay.
2 weeks of prep going into their next
I
game.
really
But
wouldn't even hate that either, because I don't think anybody expects the Vikings to be like really good right now. So it's just like
Justin Jefferson does.
That's true. I don't think he cares though. With that
Yeah, he
money
doesn't
he's
need to
got.
care anymore, that's for sure.
I would say, compared to like New England situation where Drake May's like a 21-year-old kid,
Right.
and McCarthy's played a bunch of years at Michigan, right?
Right.
So he's probably more pro ready. He's less likely to sit. I feel like they're probably planning on starting him.
I agree. I think he should. I mean, if it was my team, I wouldn't even put up the facade. I don't need to see Sam Darnold start through training camp. I'm throwing JJ out there and saying, let's go. I mean, we spent the draft capital on you. It's your time. So the only other news we got is Brandon Ayuk on TikTok Live today talking to Jaden Daniels said Niners don't want him back. They don't want him. He swears. So, well, I mean, we'll see what shakes out there, but
I think me and Klopp are in the same boat where we just don't really believe it.
Yeah.
It's like a negotiation tactic. But
yeah, that's where we're at with the news right now. That's the big headlines of today. So
It's like watching WWF right now.
yeah,
Yep.
it's still interesting. Still interesting to think about why you wouldn't want him, like where he could go, how good will he be this year?
He looks
for
just
fantasy?
like Mike Tomlin too.
Who
He
does?
looks. Brandon Ayuk looks exactly like Mike Tomlin.
Really?
Really?
I don't think I've ever seen a side by
Dude,
side
he
thing.
actually-
He's got the
recorded
weird
out.
eyes. I know that.
I'm
But
telling
like,
you, man. He actually mentioned it on Twitter to Mike Tomlin. He said, "Look, they say we look alike." I said, and then I looked at his picture. I said, "Yeah, that's true.
It adds up.
I'm not gonna argue with you."
Yeah. Well, man, that's it for
he
news.
says it.
That's all I got.
Okay, what about hot takes then?
I do have some hot takes.
I don't.
'Cause-
I don't have hot takes.
Well, you're gonna have to give us something.
My
Because your
hot
brother-
takes are like lukewarm. It's like 15 seconds in the microwave.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, I got some boiling hot take over here.
Okay.
I mean, we
I
can
got
start
a
with
couple-
the.
I got a couple too.
Yeah. You want to start with quarterbacks?
Yeah, I mean that.
I mean, that's
That's
where everything
we usually
starts,
start,
right?
Start
When
at
you
the top.
when you look on your sleeper app thing, QB's at the top, so that's where we're
Right up
starting.
top. Well, I'll
Yeah.
start right there with who I think could be our top quarterback this season, and Kyler Murray. I think he could finish number one. That's my hot take. In the final 3 games of last year, he was hyper efficient because he stopped throwing the ball downfield so much. He started working with what he got. He understands that just because Hollywood Brown is fast, he's not just burning you over the top. He's a great across the middle, deep breaking in routes guy. And Kyler finished with 6 touchdowns and only 1 turnover in his final 3 games. And I think getting an addition like Marvin Harrison that will allow him to start throwing the ball downfield could make a very big difference in his points per game, as well as his rushing attempts per game going back up. He's hovered around 7 to 9 attempts per game. Last year he was only at 5.5, and that could just be coming back from that torn ACL. So I'm thinking he could have a nice big bump this year.
I feel like also he's finally starting to learn to use his safety blanket. Trey McBride. What's
Yeah,
his
Trey
first name?
Trey
Trey
McBride.
McBride.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Like,
he was getting
he's never
peppered
used
with
his.
targets.
He's never really used his tight end, so it's good
Well,
to see him start.
the
to
other
get-
year
yeah,
that he-
maybe it's because he didn't have anybody else to throw to, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
old Zach
but
Ertz for a while.
that's what I was going to say though. Is Kyler Murray does pretty well fantasy wise whenever he hyper targets somebody, like
Yeah.
when he was throwing it
DeAndre?
like popped it. Yeah.
Yep.
So I think just doing it with Harrison or whatever, if he does it
Yeah,
with
between
McBride
him
too.
and McBride, I mean,
Yeah.
that's that's 2 really solid targets, and I like the run game too. Drafting Benson out of the backfield and James Conner still there.
Yeah.
I think it could be a solid offense and put him in a good spot this year.
Yeah. I don't know if that was boiling hot take, but
All right.
it's definitely. Well, I don't know because if you're gonna say he's number one, that's a hot take. I'm going with Deshaun Watson being top 5 quarterback.
That's a hot take. I like that.
See, I don't think it's that hot because he's already done it before.
Yeah,
He's led the league. Like I think the plays that he was or the games that he was in last year, he played well. He played well enough to be a top 5 quarterback, and he has room to improve. But I think this is going to be the year where he's finally in. He's not hurt. He's got the system down. There's not a lot of talk around him anymore. I think it'll be a good year for him.
does this have anything to do with you trying to get me to take Deshaun Watson in a trade? Does that have nothing to do with that?
There's nothing to do with that.
nothing to do with that.
These are the
I actually
players
really
we're
liked your
looking
point
for.
about just the talk being down. I think a quiet offseason for Deshaun Watson and the Browns could work a lot of magic. It could help a lot of things over out there. So
And with Nick Chubb being questionable, might just put the ball in his hands more. I mean,
Yep.
there wasn't a lot of games where he was throwing over 30, even though a lot of attempts.
yeah,
And a lot of teams love doing that.
yeah.
This,
I mean, we
these
saw
days,
what they
so.
did down the line last season with Flacco. I mean, they were
Mhm.
throwing the ball 40
Yeah.
plus times a game because they didn't have Nick Chubb and Jerome Ford just wasn't really getting it done, and he was. So I mean, if Watson can get it done, they've shown that they'll throw the ball.
Mhm.
So I like that.
I'm interested for this one.
I'm just interested to see if he's as good as Joe Flacco. I'm sorry.
That's gonna be tough. That's tough to tell.
I know one person who's better than Joe Flacco though.
Brock Purdy.
That's obvious. That's not even.
I thought you were going Brock Purdy.
I thought something too.
It's actually more outrageous. Mason Rudolph.
Oh man, the Rudolph
My
belief.
hot take is somehow, some way, Levis gets benched,
Yeah.
or he gets hurt, or he gets lost in the wood, or lost at sea, or somehow
Gets
Mason
sick
Rudolph.
eating the peel of a banana.
Dude, yeah.
I'm
Maybe
sorry,
he
I
put
gotta
too
bring
much
that up.
mayonnaise in it, and he
Yeah.
clogs his R-rays. I don't know.
That could be it. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
Mason Rudolph gets in the game, and maybe they're 1-7 or 1-5.
And pulls a Tim Tebow.
runs the table.
Beats the Steelers in the playoffs.
No,
I like
no.
this hot take. This is a hot take.
But you think Mason Rudolph's going to take that job?
Yes.
Huh? One way or
He's
another.
going to take that job.
Wow.
I think he's going to take that job. I think he's going to lead them to the playoffs.
That's
I think
hot.
that is a hot take.
That is a real
I thought
hot
I had a
take.
hot take, and I think you both hit hotter takes than I
I don't think so.
have.
Let's see who's got the best one for running back. We're going to start with you, Jacob.
Okay. I didn't really think about these too much, and I don't want to keep talking about who's going to be the top guy. It's already hard enough to tell, but I think Jahmyr Gibbs is going to take a big sophomore slump this year. I'm going to say he's going to be around running back 25.
Wow.
I think David Montgomery could be 15 to 10 area, while Jahmyr Gibbs takes a big step back. But
What's your reasoning for that?
I don't have a lot of reasoning other than I just think that they're going to keep pounding the rock with David Montgomery. They're going to keep doing the same thing. They're going to, I mean, they throw the ball a lot. And, I mean, I'm also a believer in sophomore slumps.
Yeah, I mean, that right there is enough reasoning, in my opinion, for it, is they're going to pound the ball with David Montgomery. If David Montgomery gets 15 or 16 rushing touchdowns this year, like we've seen in Detroit the last, 3 seasons, the second running back, who they use in between the tackles more often than at the goal line, steals double-digit touchdowns. It's happened with Jamal Williams and David Montgomery last year.
Yeah.
He could score 15, 16 touchdowns this year and just take all the goal line work, and if, Gibbs finishes with 4 touchdowns on the year, I could see him finishing lower than a lot of expectations right now.
Yeah, I could just see teams just really figuring him out or doing something different to just put a stop to him to where he was last year.
I do think it'll be the defense's focal point will now shift more towards stopping Jahmyr Gibbs than it was all Amon-Ra. I think more teams are going to say, if you can beat us with one receiver, we're going to shut down your run game, and anything across the middle will Sam Laporta.
Yeah.
I just think that's a problem. I mean, we'll see how that goes.
They got a lot of weapons.
Yeah,
Stuff
it's a
like
good
that.
offense.
Yeah.
Definitely a good offense.
My hot take is I'm going with Derrick Henry because he's the size of an offensive
League
tackle.
winner.
I'm not saying league
He's going to be the new Christian McCaffrey.
Well, I was going to say running back 1, but then I thought about it with PPR leagues.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't see him
it's tough.
Getting a lot of those.
getting, like Christian McCaffrey caught like 70 passes last year.
Yeah,
So
it's like not even fair to compare.
I mean, him and Gibbs could go 100-plus receptions this year, honestly, if things go their way. So
right. So I'm going to say non-PPR leagues, Derrick Henry's running back 1.
Number 1.
I don't think the aging process is going to apply to him as quickly as most people because he's already had so much to work with him.
most things don't apply to Derrick Henry. Like most laws of nature do not apply to that man. He is built different, quite literally.
Like he carried a team like Tennessee, like to the NFC AFC championship.
Number 1 seed and all that. Yeah.
Dude, like how does
In today's NFL, that's otherworldly.
I think
So
when
now-
you're at his caliber, you're like you said, the aging process, it just doesn't even matter. Like it's like AP did it back in the day.
Yeah, I think a lot of the aging process can kind of be reversed by having a guy like Lamar just standing next to him.
definitely
Just that one guy who can't now break down with Derrick Henry.
Mhm.
We all know his biggest weakness has always been getting hit in the backfield.
Yeah.
That's one less guy who can even attempt to go tackle him because Lamar Jackson's taking off.
Yeah.
Like as soon as you go for Derrick, it's over for you.
Yeah.
I look. For
I like that.
I look for them to be like the Pony Express
Yeah.
back in the day, in 1980s, and
That's the comparison you make?
yeah,
Pony
who was
Express, bro.
you
You're
never,
such a boomer, dude.
okay, whatever. Dude. Who else am I? What else is there in the modern NFL?
Pony Express.
Man,
Man,
Express,
like
yeah,
like
SMA.
RG3 Alfred Morris. 1,000-yard rusher for RG3
Wow.
almost.
Well,
1,600 yards for Alpha.
He expects it to be better, I think.
Oh yeah, man. Like Lamar Jackson's way better than. Like
RG3,
both
yeah.
these two guys are both.
Yeah,
their
they're definitely
guys are way
like
better.
the best possible version of those
Yeah,
running, or
that's
those
true,
players.
that's true, yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind that. My hot take, we're going a little bit down the pedestal as far as the talent meter goes, but I got our boy Najee Harris, 12-plus rushing touchdowns this season. He's never cracked 8. I think with the Arthur Smith offense there, they're going to want to run the ball, and I think he's the clear, large, inside the 5 back. I think it could be like the David Montgomery kind of thing where they get down inside the 10, inside the 5. Russell Wilson doesn't always have, the wherewithal to get that done anymore. Or, maybe it's Justin Fields at some point. We'll see. But either way, throwing the ball doesn't exactly make things easier on Pittsburgh once they get down inside the 10.
Yeah.
So I think Najee could have a really good year scoring touchdowns. So that's where I'm at with him.
I think a lot of people are high on him this year.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. Like, I think he could get 20 rushes for 50 yards, and they don't care. They're just going to
Yeah, that's fine. He'll have 2 touchdowns, so they're cool with that.
I don't know if you guys watched a lot of Pittsburgh games last year, but that was they were running on first and second down.
Yeah.
At least 50% of the time, or more than that.
By the end of the year, they were running the ball and doing it well. Who was the large tight end they drafted? Darnell Washington?
Yeah.
That guy's something else.
Yeah,
He's an extra offensive lineman out there.
He's
Like,
a-
actually another tackle that's fast and strong and just dominant. So
What I'm saying is, though, Arthur Smith is probably going to be running the same kind of thing.
I agree.
Our focus is going to be running the ball.
Well, I'm glad you guys believe in Arthur Smith.
I hate Arthur
I don't think
Smith.
anybody else does, but I'm glad you guys believe in him.
I believe in the narrative behind Najee Harris because of it. But,
Yeah, that's fair.
yeah.
He does have a mustache.
Oh, man.
Okay.
I hate looking at that guy's face. If I'm being honest, like, nobody just strikes more fear into my soul than 2 guys. Brian Dawkins and Arthur Smith. Now, that's 2 guys that strike fear in my soul.
I just imagine all I picture him is him when he got all butthurt about the Saints scoring the last touchdown.
Stop him.
Stop it, dude. Yeah.
This is the
This
NFL, baby.
bro.
That was the one where they wanted Jamal Williams to get a touchdown.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, like you.
Yeah, and he was mad at the coach, Dennis Allen, right, over there
Yeah.
in New Orleans. Yeah, and they went against what he said.
Yeah.
He told him to knee it out. They said, no shot, bud.
Yeah. It's Jameis Winston. Anything goes.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you have to support it as an NFL fan, man. I love that guy.
But you know what? I'll transition this time. It kind of goes right into my wide receiver, which is a Falcons receiver.
Okay.
I got Darnell Mooney leading the team in receiving. Yards,
Wow.
catches,
Okay.
touchdowns. I don't know if it's that hot because it's just going on one team, but I think a lot of people would say Pitts and London. Would
Yeah,
probably
that
be
is
better.
definitely a hot take.
So-
He's by far the third option, probably betting-wise, for leading that team.
Yeah, so I believe in Darnell Mooney, and Kirk Cousins brought him over. I think I'm not a big believer in Drake London or Kyle Pitts. So if I got to believe in somebody, it's going to be Darnell Mooney.
I mean, you look at the new coaching staff coming in. They didn't draft Drake London.
Yeah.
No, they didn't have any of those guys.
So they brought in Kirk Cousins and they brought in Darnell Mooney. So if you're gonna say they have any incentive to give anybody the ball, it's him.
Yeah.
So
And it's like you touched on. I mean, we've touched on it before earlier in different weeks, but Kirk Cousins specifically requested Mooney to come over there.
definitely.
Yeah, I mean, that's his guy. He wanted him there. They've been working out all offseason together. I don't mind that at all.
and if
I
they're
mean,
on the same page,
I think he's a great
that's
buy
gonna make a
low.
big difference.
He's a great buy low. He really is.
Yeah, he absolutely is.
How did you pick up Darnell Mooney, by the way?
Some idiot dropped him, so I picked him up. I mean,
You hate to see it.
to be fair, you weren't an idiot when you did drop him.
Dude,
Right,
I
it was
sitting
fair at the
hold
time.
on, we were sitting there out there in the hospital. And we were working. And I was like, dude, Darnell Mooney, this guy's good.
Yeah.
And he was like, dude, he's a bum. I think what he said
Not how
was,
it went
this
down.
guy is buns. He's like a fourth round.
This guy's
pick.
cheats, bro.
Yeah.
Want no part of him.
And then I drop him in that.
And then I picked him up.
That's funny.
It's not how it went down at all, though.
No, I mean, I went with somebody kind of similar in build and what they're good at in the NFL. I went with our guy Jackson Smith and Jigba. I have him finishing as the number 1 receiver in Seattle this season.
Okay.
You know, over DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, I think he takes the jump.
Yeah,
I think he's going to be the
fun
top
too.
fantasy scorer. I'm going to specifically say that because I think in PPR leagues, I think he's just going to dominate targets underneath.
Okay.
And I think his ability to stretch the field and win down the sideline, you know, is just another asset to his game where it doesn't always have to be DK Metcalf anymore. I think we saw Tyler Lockett kind of take a step back last year. I'm hopeful that'll take another step back this year. And Mike McDonald, the new coach in Seattle, has already came out and said, you know, they have plans for JSN, specific plans and ways they want to use him. They think that he was underutilized and misutilized last season with Pete Carroll. So yeah, I mean, going forward, I think he could really be the new focal point of that offense.
One thing I hope that they use him is throwing him screen passes.
Yeah.
He's so good with when he gets the ball in his hands and just
Yep.
juking.
Yeah, I definitely think that's his best skill. I've always comped him to Deontay Johnson, where those short underneath things in space, like, I mean, you can just pepper that guy and he's going to get you first downs.
Yeah.
Dude, we all went with the same kind of thing. This receiver is going to lead
Let's
his
go.
team
I like
in
it.
receiving yards or points, whatever. I'm going with Josh Palmer. I think he's going to.
Josh Palmer.
Josh Palmer's going to
Okay.
lead the Los Angeles Chargers. He's going to be their best receiver. Because I'm hearing a lot of this about Lad McConkey, but
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't seen it yet.
Palmer's
He wasn't
been
even
playing
the best.
with Herbert for a while. Like,
Yeah.
there's a. I don't know if that's hotter than the other ones, but I mean, not a lot of people are probably really high on Palmer. So
I've been seeing some love for Palmer lately, but a lot of it just comes down to, I mean, Quentin Johnson is awful. I mean, just
Yeah.
legitimately awful. Like, I was listening to Matt Harmon talk about him today, actually, and he said that his finishes for, like, yards per route run and things like that were first percentile, and not in a good way. That, like, 99% of charted receivers finished higher than him in many metrics.
Mhm.
Like, he was just one of the worst rookie seasons we've seen from a first-round receiver in a long time.
that sucks because I liked him coming out of TCU.
Yeah,
Like,
and I mean, Lad's never put up more than 500 yards in a season at Georgia. I mean, he was always hurt. So, Josh Palmer definitely has an opportunity there to.
it's odd. The two of them, Lad McConkey and Quentin Johnson, are like completely different. One of them, like Lad McConkey, what you're worried about is that he's not big and fast enough.
Yeah.
It's like not. But with Quentin Johnson, it's like, man, he's not refined at all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
he's built for the NFL with none of the like refined skills, like you're saying, and I feel like Lad has all of those skills wrapped up already. He's like pro ready, but the size and speed, I mean, he's fast,
fast.
but yeah, he is fast, but I mean, the size could really get him to break down over time. So.
Yeah.
But I've seen Josh Palmer. I do the cut ups in the NFL, and he, at least he's way better than Quentin Johnson. Like because
Oh, yeah.
they're on the same field together, and you can see him how much more open he is. And so
Palmer's a solid NFL player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's definitely a solid guy.
I think he's like a Robert Woods kind of guy.
Yeah.
I like that
I
comp.
could,
Yeah.
that's a good
And
comp.
Herbert's shown he likes him. I mean,
Yeah.
he targets him anytime Keenan Allen or Mike Williams have went down over the last few years.
Yeah.
Palmer steps right in. He gets all those targets, soaks them right up. So
Absolutely.
So we move on to tight end now, and I guess I'll start with this.
okay,
Sam Laporta is a bum. That's what my hot take is.
that is a hot take.
I think he just got the ball just because, and he's not.
Just because.
Yep, and I think they're going to
Okay.
start moving around, and once they start figuring out ways to get Jahmyr Gibbs the ball and Jamison Williams, and he's just going to go. He's going to be a regular tight end. He's not going to be this, whatever he was last year,
Yeah.
like a bona fide stud.
I do hate to say because you mentioned how it's just like you looked at his tape and it's just like he's just open, like he didn't do anything but he's just open.
They just
So
forgot to
that's-
cover him.
It throws you off and you think it might just be game plan and
Yeah.
whatever play calling and stuff like that. So it's kind of sucks because I traded my first for him. So I'm like I really hope that's not the case and that he is
Yeah.
good. But
I'll be honest. There's one player who I kind of felt the same way about for a really long time, and I was obviously proven wrong time and time again. Devontae Adams. When you watch Devontae Adams in his Packers years, the first like 4 years where he was so dominant, it was like nobody is guarding him. They just watch him run to the open part of the field, and it's like, oh yeah, just let Aaron Rodgers have his number one target wide open.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
See, you're going against me now. Like
I am. I'm gonna go against the Laporta one, but
myself.
I don't think he's a bum. But I think it's possible we saw his highest tight end finish in fantasy. I think it's possible he never finishes.
Tight end one, right?
I don't know if he
That's
finished
what
one or
he was last
two.
year,
I think he was 2. I think Travis Kelce ended up beating him week 18 or whatever.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I don't. I think it's possible we never see him in the top 3 again. Like he could just be
Yeah.
one of those really good tight ends that isn't somebody
That's
who
what I
excels and puts you over the top every
Yeah.
single. Like he could be like Jason Witten,
Yeah,
where like you're
that's what I
pumped
would
because
think.
you have him and it's locked in your dynasty league, but he's not going to win you weeks maybe. But I mean, so far he has been a league winner, so we'll see how that goes. My guy has never been a league winner, despite what everybody's always felt about him. I got Kyle Pitts here. My hot take is I don't think he's going to finish as a top 10 tight end. Last year he was tight end 13. The only time he's ever finished in the top 10 was his rookie year, and he only had 1 touchdown. He's proven he's not a touchdown scorer. Obviously, Arthur Smith is a large part of that. I hate that guy. I think Kyle Pitts is very talented, But I think there's a lot of mouths to feed there. I mean, they have Bijan Robinson, who obviously, like all the reports coming out of camp so far are, we're giving him the ball like he's Christian McCaffrey. We're going to, bury this dude in touches.
Mm-hmm.
They have Tyler Algier, who's still an awesome running back in his own right. Drake London, Darnell Mooney. There's so many options there. Yeah, exactly. I think there's a very real situation where we could see Kyle Pitts have 700 yards and 4 touchdowns this year. And, he looks good on the field, but the targets might not be there. So that I think it's a sketchy situation. I think there's a lot of value to be had getting off of Kyle Pitts right now.
Mm.
It's like that. Atlanta, Green Bay, these are 2 situations where it's like, man, it's hard as hell how it's going to work out.
It's so hard.
You can make a lot of...
You really just have to roll with your gut.
Yeah, but there's a lot of opportunity there.
Yeah.
But then there's a lot, if there's a lot of way to...
A lot of opportunity to be wrong, too.
Yeah.
Low floor, high ceiling.
Yeah.
I like that you brought a lot of stats and really good arguments with your case.
He's
Because
not gonna do
this
that.
is just straight gut, dude. Just straight.
I love
gut.
a gut check.
Dude, I've loved Pat Freiermuth as a player for a while now. He doesn't really show a lot of fantasy upside, but I think this year with Russell Wilson, they're going to do these small little passes. They're going to go back to what they're good at and just doing these short run plays, small game type stuff. And I think he's going to get 10 touchdowns this year.
I like that.
I'm calling 10 touchdowns.
You know what else I like about him? How the whole crowd goes, ooh, every time he catches the ball. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I love a good tight end scream
Yeah.
from the crowd.
Heath
That's
Miller
big time.
to
Heath Miller had
move.
that too,
Yeah, I like it. He's just a likable player, I think, and I'm hoping for him. So that's my guy.
He's talented. I mean, when he's on the field, he's shown that he's a capable tight end, and he's better than average. I mean, he's not just another name to throw out there. I really like him, honestly.
Yeah. So.
You like him better than Darnell Washington?
No,
I think
actually probably not. No, I like Darnell Washington.
I think I like Darnell Washington more as a football player. I mean, just angry.
Big
As a fantasy
boy.
option, there's a chance Darnell Washington doesn't catch a single pass this season.
I don't know if he caught one last year.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
You can't get mad when you see that big boy going down there and
Dude,
hit
he is
somebody.
a monster.
You want to see that.
That is a intimidating human being running at you
Yeah.
with every intent to bury you on your back.
Reminds me of George Kittle, where George Kittle gets excited about the plays where he's got a block.
Yeah, exactly. When he gets to see a good matchup, he's like, "Oh, I get to
Yeah.
hammer this guy."
But here's the problem: is you see George Kittle, he's laughing, having a good time. I don't think Darnell Washington has smiled in his entire life. When he's
He's not having a good time.
yeah, he's not having a good time.
And he's gonna make sure you're not either.
Yeah, I'm gonna
He's
stay
like
out
Mr.
that
T
dude's
out
way.
there.
Exactly.
So he's
I'm
just
gonna stay
trying
out
to
of his
cause
way.
everybody pain the whole
Dude.
time.
Hey,
You gonna feel it, Cooley?
Well, hold on. Who's trying to cause me pain right now? It's Jacob
Yes, sir.
with these trades.
this is a good trade, man. We should all just hit accept, get a little 3-team deal done, and
Okay, so here's the trade. I'm just gonna put it up on the screen, so I don't have to say all the names and get everybody confused. My biggest thing is Klopper making fun of me for having a crappy team, and
Are you
saying
gonna-
I'm just looking for some way to compete this year, and that's by trading Justin Herbert.
Is next day Jacob gonna put your team up here just so that everybody?
Yeah, I
can
can
see
put all our team. I'll put all next day. Jacob will put.
Actually, the most important thing is your team.
Yeah, that's fine. I can. Yeah, so that everybody gets the full context.
yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, I'll chime in. I did start this.
Yeah.
I
You
did.
started this trade?
I
Yeah.
did. Yeah.
Oh,
not
okay.
as a 3-team trade. I started with an offer for Justin Herbert, and I did offer.
Okay.
I think I offered Watson, Taylor, and JSN for Herbert and Odunze. And he was like, declined it.
Yeah,
And then I was like,
declined
hey, I was like, how close am I? And he's like, I just really don't know if I want Watson because I already have him in another league. I don't want to be overexposed. And I was like, I get that. And then he sent out the 3-team trade, and I was like, the same thing for me. I mean,
Yeah.
it's basically the same trade for me.
I figured. Well, in the before trade, I had Brandon Ayuk, but
Right.
Klopper does not want to trade Brandon
Trying
Ayuk.
to give me. He's trying to give me Deshaun Watson and
Deontay Johnson.
Deontay Johnson.
Now,
for.
I did put in there because I was willing to do Cam Sutton. What's his first name? Cortland Sutton too, just to give some more comp for that. But
That way I could have somebody else on my bench.
okay,
I don't have enough people on my bench.
fair.
It's only full.
From the looks of things, guys, we're not going to get this trade worked out.
Yeah.
But it
But
feels like we're almost there.
That's
We're
what's
kind of
true.
close.
I switch it with DK, and he's sitting here saying DK's got more name value
He
than
does.
real value.
He does.
But you're the one that's trying to trade Justin Herbert.
Yeah,
Now
because
what
he
about-
has. Well, Justin Herbert is a good quarterback.
He's a
He
great
has, he has, I think, more name value than he does actual value.
All right, well,
Especially-
let's-
This is the year he's supposed to take a drop, so whatever. Get rid of him.
He's the next Brock Purdy. They're only going to throw the ball like 400 times this year. So
Yep.
Yeah.
that's what the
Yeah.
rumors are.
That's what. Yeah,
That's
that's what. the
what
rumors
everybody
are.
says. They're going to
Yeah.
pay Justin Herbert $400 billion and hand the ball off to Gus Edwards
Yeah,
40
he-
times a game.
J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah, can we talk about how